All right, let's dive into a playbook for anyone who's ever faced a total barrage of accusations. We're going to break down a really clear step-by-step guide for turning that chaos into clarity. You know that feeling, right? That sinking feeling where you feel like you're just buried under this mountain of claims? It's like a game of whack-a-mole. You address one point and three more just pop right up. It's overwhelming, it's exhausting, and it feels completely impossible to get ahead. But here's the thing you absolutely have to understand. What you're experiencing isn't just a difficult conversation. That feeling of chaos, that is the goal. It's a very specific strategy being used against you. So this isn't some personal failing on your part. It's a recognized tactic. And that tactic has a name: allegation stacking. You might have also heard it called a gish gallop. The power isn't in any single claim being true. Nope. The real weapon is just the sheer volume of them, the ambiguity. It's all designed to make the person deciding feel pressured and, risk averse. So, to beat it, you first have to understand how it's built. Let's look under the hood. We're going to deconstruct the most common moves you'll see, straight from their tactic library. First up is label dumping. This is when you're hit with adjectives instead of actions. You hear words like unstable or controlling, but they're never tied to a specific event or a date. The goal here is to shift the whole fight from what you did to who you are, and that's a battle you can literally never win. How do you prove you're not unstable? You can't. Next is category explosion. This is where a single event just gets multiplied. Like the slide says, one late pickup isn't just a late pickup anymore. Oh no, suddenly it gets framed as 5 different failures: unsafe, unstable, disrespectful. You get the idea. This is all about inflating the count of wrongdoing to make one minor issue seem like this huge, awful pattern. And then you've got the late dump. This is basically a procedural weapon. By dropping dozens of new claims right before a deadline, the whole point is to trigger your panic. They want to force you into a rushed, disorganized, emotional rebuttal because they know that's always going to be less effective. So how do you know if this is actually what you're facing? Well, the playbook has a quick diagnostic called the stack score. If you recognize 5 or more of these kinds of tactics, the label dumping, the category explosion, mixing serious claims with really petty ones, then yeah, you're almost certainly dealing with deliberate allegation stacking. Okay, so you've identified the attack. Now what? Now the playbook lays out a really powerful counter strategy. And the fundamental shift, the big idea, is to stop arguing every single point and start organizing your response. This is how you take back control. And this is it. This is your map out of the mess. Just 4 steps. First, triage. You decide what actually matters and what's just noise. Second, cluster. You group all those claims into 3 to 5 core themes. Third, and this is crucial, prove. You respond to each theme with a rock-solid verifiable structure. And finally, deliver. You package it all in a format that's super easy to understand. Let's zoom in on step 3, because this is the engine of the entire playbook. It's the claim fact exhibit structure. It's so simple, but so powerful. You state their claim neutrally. Then you counter it with just one verifiable fact, a number, a date, and then you point to the document that proves it. No emotion, no story, just cold, hard, boring data. And let me tell you, boring data wins. Theory is great, but let's see how this actually works in practice. The playbook gives us a couple of common scenarios to really show you how the method works. Here's a classic, the harassment stack. Notice the language: constantly, endless, scared. It's all emotional, it's all absolute. It's designed to create this sense of an overwhelming threat without actually providing any specifics. Now look at the response. It doesn't argue about intent or fear. It just replaces endless with a specific number, 12. It replaces harassment with boring categories, scheduling and medical. The emotional narrative just collapses when it's confronted with boring, verifiable data. It has nowhere to go. And then there's the everything bagel stack. The kitchen sink approach. They throw everything at you, mixing really serious allegations with totally trivial complaints, hoping the sheer volume makes it all seem important.
And here's the counter. You don't chase every single item. You use the cluster step we talked about. You group all that noise into a few core themes. You're not arguing about a bad diet. You're presenting school records that show consistent routines. You control the frame. You're not fighting on their messy turf.
So the final part of the playbook moves from being reactive to being proactive. The goal is to build a system that basically makes you stack-proof from the very beginning.
And you do this by creating simple, repeatable proof packs. These are just collections of objective third-party data that are always ready to go. When you have these, an accusation like "he never cooperates" is instantly diffused by your parenting time pack that shows a perfectly consistent shared calendar. It stops the attack before it can even gain traction. Finally, the playbook gives you a script for when you're under pressure in real time. When you get hit with a stack live, these sentences are your shield. They calmly signal to everybody that you will not be drawn into the chaos because you have a structure, you have proof, and you are in control. So, the crucial takeaway from this whole playbook is that structure beats chaos every single time. By recognizing the tactic and applying this framework, you can methodically dismantle an allegation stack, replacing their narrative of fear with one of fact. The only question is, are you ready to make that shift?